Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you to the May 12th council meeting of the City of Mayfield Heights. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Balestria.
Present.
Mr. Mano.
Here.
Mr. Medic.
Here.
Mr. Minor.
Here.
Mrs. Sabetta.
Here.
Mrs. Snyder.
Here.
Ms. Tobin.
Here.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is the approval of the minutes from our April 28th Committee of the Whole meeting. I hope everyone's had time to read these minutes over. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta and second
Second.
by Mr. Medic.
Second. Did you get?
Are there any changes, amendments, or deletions to those minutes? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? These minutes have been approved. We will now move to the approval of the minutes from the April 28th council meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Belstraya
Second.
and second by Mrs. Sabetta. Are there any changes, amendments, or deletions to these minutes? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And these minutes have now been approved as written. Does any member of council have any correspondence or announcements this evening?
I have an announcement.
Either Mrs. Sabetta, and then we'll come to you. Mrs. Sabetta.
Thank you. I would just like to announce that the Chagrin River Watershed Partners will be meeting in person at the Gates Mills Community Center on May 15th at 4 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Talbot.
Yes, I just wanted to report that I was able to go to,
Hit your mic.
there you go. I can hear myself. Anyhow, I was able to go to the training that Chief Mealy had put on, leadership training. And I just want to say it was great. And it was great, not only the content, but I was really impressed that the chief opened it up to staff and other departments. And it was, I attended the half day in the morning. It was packed. And I can imagine it was packed in the afternoon. And the speaker was very good. I've seen a lot of leadership, very good speaker. No PowerPoint, but great stories that were relevant to both people who were in police force as well as others. So it was great to see how many people were really interested and attended.
Good. Thank you. Any further comments from council? Okay, we will move to reports of officers, starting with the mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. Our annual Shred Day was this past Saturday. We had over 200 cars come by, and I want to say big thanks to our service department and our auxiliary officers for keeping the event seamless and safe. The next Shred Day is Saturday, September 20th from 9 until 12. So you remember this year we added another day. The ACC is hosting Taste of the World Happy Hour. I'm sure Councilman Mano will report on this, but I just wanted to bring it up because it sounds like a great event. It's on May 22nd. Deadline to sign up is the 15th of May. And there will be samples of food from France, Ireland, Italy, Mexico, and more. And it's from 2:30 to 4:30. So you may want to check that out. And our older residents who need help with light housekeeping services can call Nancy at the Community Partnership on Aging at 216-848-0592 to discuss rates and scheduling through Rent-A-Daughter Senior Care Services. And also, Community Partnership on Aging is always looking for volunteers. So if you'd like, you could call 216-291 3903 for more info. And then also, I just wanted to let everyone know that we will be having a service May 26th for Memorial Day. And we're going to honor and remember those who died and those currently serving in the United States Armed Forces. Our Fire Honor Guard unit will stand guard at the honor roll wall, as well as the Police Honor Guard participating in the event, I should say. And the Honor Guard will fire a 21-gun salute. It will be in the fire bays if it rains. And I also want to announce that Dr. Don Spanner, who was a Colonel, U.S. Army Reserve, retired, will be our guest speaker. So I'm looking forward to that. Known Don a long time. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Are there any questions? Okay. Director of Law, Mr. Schmidlin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't mean to steal Ms. Sabetta's thunder, but I wanted to compliment her on what a great job she did at the joint meeting that we had with Building and Legislation. She kept the meeting moving. She heard from everybody, make sure everybody's voice was heard. On the issue of short-term housing, those committees came to a conclusion, and it's my understanding that we're going to continue to leave that ordinance tabled until the rest of the councilmen have an opportunity to see the minutes and hopefully address it at our next meeting.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Schmidlin? Okay. And Director of Finance, Mrs. Scully, is absent this evening. And there's no report from her. Okay. This time, are there any department heads that would like to speak and report on their departments? Okay. Mr. Rowan.
Thank you. I just wanted to touch a little bit on the ordinance in front of you regarding the CRA and the term extension. I wrote a pretty good memo, I think, that covers the change, which is pretty self-explanatory. But I will touch on some items and answer some questions that Councilperson Minor sent me that I think could benefit everyone as well. So the city passed a community reinvestment area back in 1993. That area largely is the corporate park, so from north of Cedar up to 271. And what that does is it provides property tax exemptions for real estate investments. So property taxes abated for a period of time. And so the city's is a pre-1994. So that was when the state changed the CRA legislation. So there's a post-94 and a pre-94. So there's just a little bit of difference on notice and compensation to the schools and those type of things, and how you can negotiate the terms when it's a post-94 versus a pre. So with a pre-94, you're able to amend the original enabling legislation twice before it kicks into the statute that is a post-94. So this legislation, as far as we know, has never been amended. So there's two chances to do that. Now with a pre-94, the municipality can only change the legislation in a couple of ways. The first is the geographic area of the CRA, so the physical area where it applies. And then the second is the term of the exemptions up to the maximum as prescribed in the Ohio Revised Code. So I outlined what those are in the memo. Currently for single family, basically, it's 5 years exemption. For 3 families and then commercial, it's 5 years exemption. And then for new build commercial, it's 15 years. So the purpose of this legislation is to revise the term for the 3-family and the commercial rehab from 5 years. I put 10, it can be 12, that's up to the council. We suggested 10 because that corresponds with lease terms typically. I'm sure that 12 would be well received as well, and you only get to amend it twice. So if you wanted to go to the full extent, you can. And really what precipitated this was something the mayor and I had talked about previously, but with the sale of the Progressive building with the Landerbrook Corporate Center being for sale, and there's potential for rehab projects there. So it seemed like a good time to take the step to look at this section of that legislation and consider expanding it, because really what it does, it doesn't benefit the property owner or developer as much as it does the tenant, because typically property taxes are passed through as part of a triple net lease to the tenants, so they would get a reduced monthly part of that triple net fee as part of their rent. So it makes it a little bit more attractive to rent those buildings, and then helps with some of those costs, which are pretty substantial to renovate office space at this point. So as I mentioned, Mr. Minor sent me some questions, and I can kind of go through those and share the answers with all of council. The first question he asked is how many companies and individuals have taken advantage of the program. So I went back and looked, and these are all expired CRAs. So Parker Hannafin had one, the Elk and Elk building, Rockwell Automation, and then the Landerbrook Dental building as well. So currently, the only building that has a CRA is the Apex Skin building that was just built, and it's starting for tax year 24, collection year 25, so it's this year. So the reporting for that CRA will start in 26. So there was no reporting this year, and there hasn't been since the Landerbrook Dental building rolled off a few years ago. What's the total savings to program participants? So that one I can't answer because I don't have the reports of what all the abated value of property taxes were. But I did go back just for examples of scale, and pulled the last year of abatement and then the first year of full tax paid, so you could get a sense of scale. So for Parker, in tax year 2012, when they were just paying on land, it was $185,000 in property tax. In tax year 2013, it jumped up to $656,000 for when the building hit the tax rolls. So for Rockwell, in tax year 2010, it was $350,000 for land. Tax year 2011, $1.46 million. Landerbrook Dental, tax year 2022, $23,000 for land. $23,000, and in tax year 23, it jumped up to $165,000. So you see, they are substantial on new builds, especially. Certainly, when it's a rehab, it's not as impactful. They still pay what they were paying at the time the CRA goes into effect, so it's only on the incremental gain, and you don't get dollar for dollar for that as part of the evaluation. But it does help. The third question is who's on the CRA Housing Council, and I do have a list. I can send that to you. You have a couple members of council that are on that as well. The fourth question, is there any new sections of the city that could benefit from this or a similar program? I would say, in my opinion, no. There are a lot of cities that have the whole entire city as a CRA. So you can imagine that when you have an addition put on a house or any substantial change in the property value, that's something a residential property could take advantage of if it covered the entire city. My thought is the market seems pretty robust here in the residential, and it's probably not needed. And then typically, most communities don't apply CRAs and tax exemption and abatement to retail because it's not needed. Now, if you have an area where things are converting over time, like a shopping plaza that's no longer viable and it's going to be redeveloped to something else, you can look to amend a map and include that. So my thought would be it's probably in the right spot, and I would just keep it. Again, the fifth question is why 10 years instead of 12? We tried to tie it to lease term, but certainly you could make it 12 for the maximum that the state allows. That would be completely fine. It's up to council, but we asked for 10 to be considered because, again, if someone comes in and takes a big chunk of one of these buildings that's being rehabbed, most likely they're gonna sign a long 10-year lease. What prompted the change? Touched on that a little bit. So the mayor and I had talked about this previously, but when the Progressive building sold and we started engaging that development team about their plans and their investment, it seemed like a good time to do it. And we know that there's some other buildings coming online for renovation potentially down the road, so they can take advantage of this as well. And the 7th is just any other information, but I think I covered quite a bit. So I can answer any questions or if you have any, but it's pretty straightforward change.
Does any council member have any questions? You're good.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jeremy. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard this evening? We will now move to the reports of committees, commissions, and boards, beginning with the Building Committee, Mr. Medic.
Thank you, Madam President. As Mr. Schmidlin mentioned, we had a joint meeting last Tuesday, May 6th, between the Building and Legislative to go over short-term rentals. And we did approve the language pending just the penalty ad, and it will be tabled till our next meeting, and the minutes are released. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Finance and Audit, Mr. Minor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did not have a meeting, therefore I do not have a report.
Thank you. Legislative Committee, Mrs. Sabetta.
Thank you. I'm going to ditto what the Building Committee said, and I'm also going to say that both chairs and members of the committee were present, along with the City Law Director, the Building Director, and Assistant Deputy Clerk. And I want to thank them all for being prepared and willing to have a great discussion on our city and this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works and Service, Mr. Balestria.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A meeting is scheduled tomorrow, May the 13th at 8 a.m. In these chambers to discuss application specifications for the NEORSD for the 2026 Washington Boulevard project for the loan. So I encourage any member of council that wants to come, 8 a.m. tomorrow. And also, we have scheduled the town hall meeting to be held at the ACC on June the 11th at 6 p.m. And I will, once we finalize an agenda, I will forward that to all of council.
Thank you, Mr. Balestria. Any questions for Mr. Balestria? Mr. Mano, Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Taste of the World, the Young at Heart event will be held on May 22nd at the ACC. Join in as our sponsors provide a taste of food samples from 5 countries. The event will include a DJ, photo booth, and lots of fun. RSVP by May 15th by calling 440-442-2627. The fee is $15 per person. Thank you to our sponsors at the gold level: Grand Point, Highland Point, Kemper House, King David Post Acute, Ride at Home, and the Sylvie Home and the silver level, and Harmony Hospice Care and Prosper at Wycliffe. It's not too late to get your pool pass to the Aquatic Center before the opening weekend, May 24th to the 26th. Stop by the ACC or call 440-442-2627 for more details on how to purchase your annual pass. The next Park and Rec meeting will be on Tuesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. at the Aquatic and Community Center, and everyone's invited. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mano. Are there any questions for? Nope. Safety and Transportation, Mrs. Talbot.
The committee did not meet. However, I would like to read a release that went out today. It was put on the police Facebook page, and I know council got it. I reached out to the chief, and he said he wasn't going to be here, so I just wanted to read this. It says, I wanted to make sure that you were aware of this prior to it being released to the media. This came to us. The police department received several complaints from residents' parents between January and March of 2025 regarding several vape shops in our city. The allegations were that some of the vape shops were selling nicotine vapes to underage kids and selling marijuana to high school-aged kids. One parent said that their daughter purchased marijuana from one of the vape shops and had to be taken to the hospital as a result. The police department conducted undercover operations over several days in April and May. The purpose was to see if any of the vape shops in the city would illegally sell nicotine or THC products to a confidential informant posing as a paying customer. Prior to conducting this operation, we consulted with agents from the Ohio Investigative Unit and the Ohio Department of Commerce, who oversees the licensing and regulation and this was posted already on the Facebook page. And so agents with the Ohio Investigative Unit and the Ohio Department of Commerce, who oversees the licensing and regulation of cannabis sales. 3 out of the 5 vape shops sold nicotine products to the underage informants. All 3 sales clerks were issued tickets for the offense. In May, a different confidential informant attempted to purchase marijuana from the 3 locations that the nicotine products were successfully purchased. The informant successfully purchased marijuana from these, and this morning 2 search warrants were executed. Numerous items were seized from both businesses, including suspected marijuana, THC products, and cash. Criminal charges are pending for the owners of both businesses, and both businesses are being declared a nuisance property per City Ordinance 153, Criminal Activity and Nuances. And I just want to thank the police department for its incredible work on this, because this is the second time I know that they have done this, and I guess they will continue to make sure that things are legal in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talbin. We will now move to the Board of Zoning, the Board of Zoning Appeals, Mrs. Sabetta. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam President. The Board of Zoning will meet here tomorrow in council chambers at 7 p.m. We have one item on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. In Planning Commission, Mr. Balestrea.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Planning Commission met last Monday. Council was copied on the minutes. You should have it in your packet. We have a final site plan motion on the agenda tonight as a result of that meeting.
Thank you. We will now proceed to the public portion. Pursuant to City Code, each person will be allotted 5 minutes to speak, with a maximum of 30 minutes allotted for the entire public portion. If you are here in connection with an agenda item, this is your opportunity to address council. If you would like to be heard this evening, please fill out a form at the public entrance, and during the public portion, I will call each person wishing to speak to the podium. Please state your name and address for the record and speak clearly into the microphone. It is now 7:26, and I will open up the public portion. I don't have anything in front of me this evening from anybody that's out there. Is anybody? No? Okay. All right, I will close the public portion. It is now 7:26. Resolution number 20. Okay. I will now close the public. No. Resolution number 2025-21. Mr. Schmidlin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Resolution number 2025-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Classic Ford for the purchase of a new Ford F-250 pickup truck for the City of Mayfield Heights Service Department and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Mano
Second.
and second by Mr. Balestrea. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Mano.
Yes.
Mr. Balestrea.
Yes.
Mr. Medic.
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta.
Yes?
Ms. Tolbin.
Yes.
Mr. Minor.
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Medic
Second?
and second by Mrs. Sabetta. All members of council should have received a memo regarding this purchase from Mr. Brunello. This truck was approved in 2025 Service Department's budget. The new truck will replace the current pickup truck, which has served the department for the past 46 years. The condition of the current truck has caused it to be down almost permanently. The approved budget was $100,000. The new pickup will be purchased under the state contract price for $54,522. All service department vehicles and equipment that are no longer in service will be put on gov deals to be sold once the new vehicles and equipment has arrived. Are there any questions from council? Okay. Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mr. Balestria.
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes?
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. This resolution has been approved. Moving to resolution number 2025-22, Mr. Schmidlin.
Resolution 2025-22, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Bobcat of Akron for the purchase of a new Bobcat skid steer for the City of Mayfield Heights Service Department and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
Moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta
Second.
and second by Mr. Balestria. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes?
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Balestria,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Mano
Second.
and second by Mr. Minor. The purpose of this new Bobcat skid steer is needed for the daily use of the service department for multiple tasks and purposes, including snow removal during the winter months. The new equipment would replace the current machine, which is 2005, making it 20 years old. This purchase is being recommended under Sourcewell contract and will include a new snow pusher box. Funding for this piece of equipment has been appropriated and approved for the Service Department and will come from the 401 Road Equipment Fund. Are there any questions from council at this time? Okay. Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Balestria,
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes?
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Resolution 2025-22 has been approved. We're moving to the next resolution, 2025-23. Mr. Schmidlin.
Resolution 2025-23, a resolution extending the time period for the Community Reinvestment Area and amending Ordinance 1993-39 and declaring an emergency.
I think that's
Wrong one.
2023. Is the Board of
We're in
Zoning.
a resolution still, right? We're on 23.
That's the one I read, 2025-23. Want me to read yours?
Oh, yeah, yours is wrong.
How'd you get the wrong agenda?
Trump. So you want me to read this? My apologies, folks. There seems to be
Let me
some type
make
of
sure that's
technical
right.
error in our agenda.
Yeah, that's the correct one.
Start over. 2025-23. I'll be darned. A resolution reversing the action of the Board of Zoning Appeals of the City of Mayfield Heights recommending denial of the request of Joseph Glick on behalf of Sequoia Financial Group for a variance to install a 72.9 square foot illuminated sign on the building located at 5110 Landerbrook Drive, permanent parcel number 8613029, and therefore granting said variance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Medic
Second.
and second by Mr. Balestria. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Balestria.
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Mr. Mano,
Second.
second by Mr. Bellistrea. This resolution will reverse the BZA's decision to deny the variance request made on behalf of Sequoia Financial Group. This matter was discussed during the April 28th Committee of the Whole meeting. All members of council have a copy of these minutes. Allowance of this variance came at the recommendation of both Mr. Rowan and Mr. Thomas, who believe that permitting the sign for Sequoia and other businesses to follow would essentially facilitate the growth and prosperity of the corporate park. Are there any further questions or comments from council? Ms. Talbin?
Yes, I just want to clarify on this resolution. In the third whereas, it talks about the council actually granting the variance, saying it's not appropriate and believes that granting the variance is in the best interest of the public health, safety, and convenience and general welfare because the applicant presented sufficient evidence of practical difficulty. But we did not really talk about practical difficulty at the council. It was actually, we discussed that it's because it was ahead of the legislation from the building department, and we were going in that direction. And that was the rationale for why we were overriding the denial, not that we were saying that we found practical difficulty. So I just
That's
wanted to
correct.
clarify that.
Does that need to be removed?
No, that's fine.
Okay,
Just clarifying that
okay,
for the record.
okay, thank you. Anything further from council? Okay, roll call on the motion to approve.
Mrs. Sabetta,
No.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Bellistrea.
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. This resolution has been adopted. Moving to resolution number 2025-24. Mr. Schmidlin.
Resolution 2025-24, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with DataServe Integrations LLC for computer and other information technology-related services and to transition from a network maintenance contract to a network as a service and AAS model and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved?
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta
Second.
and second by Mr. Medic. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Bellistrea.
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Medic
Second.
and second by Mr. Bellistrea.
Yes.
This resolution is for the transition in our service agreement with DataServe from a traditional network maintenance contract to a more robust network as a service NAAS model. This shift would enhance our network's reliability, security, and long-term manageability. This would also be in accordance with the $32,000 already allocated in the 2025 budget to modernize our network infrastructure and support our services. The new agreement would cost approximately $31,388 per year. Are there any questions or comments from council?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Minor?
go ahead.
Go to Mike first.
Just
Mr.
a question maybe
Bellistrea.
for the mayor. Mayor, do you know if, how this is paid out? It says a monthly payment of, do we pay it monthly, or is it one-time 5-year payment or yearly?
No, it's monthly.
It is a monthly payment, okay, thank you.
And Mr. Minor?
I was just curious if, from your perspective, Mayor, if you thought we would see any other data serve changes to the contractual agreement. I believe we've modified it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times at this point, and every time we've gotten progressively a better, I don't want to say deal out of it, but we've gotten more services at a fairer rate. I was just curious if there were any other parts of our infrastructure that could cause another change in contract?
I think that is yet to be seen as they move through every aspect of it. After the big incident that we had, that the police were hacked into, the police department. They've gone through with a fine-tooth comb, and I think they're still combing through it. So there could be, in the future, some changes, but Nick and DataServe are really looking at everything to make sure that we're secure and efficient.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Minor.
I just didn't want to chime up, though. I wanted you to look at me first. My only other question is do they act as our technology auditor, or do we have a different one? So are they going to be responsible for testing the infrastructure that they put in for us, or are we going to have an outside party do that?
They do that now, as well as Nick, police doing some auditing as well. So we do not have a third party doing that.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything further? Okay. Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mr. Balestria,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. This resolution has now been approved. We will now move to ordinances, beginning with ordinance 2025-20. Mr. Schmidlin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ordinance 2025-20, ordinance extending the time period for the community reinvestment area and amending ordinance 1993-39 and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta
Second.
and second by Mr. Belstraya. Roll call on the motion to suspend.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Balestria,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta
Second.
and second by Mr. Medic. We all heard from Mr. Rowan this evening. I could just recap this. The council should have received the memo from Mr. Rowan discussing this ordinance. The city passed legislation authorizing a community reinvestment area in September of 1993. The CRA includes most of the corporate park between Cedar Road and I-271. The purpose of the resolution is to amend the CRA legislation, is to increase the exemption term for the remodeling of a multifamily dwellings of 3 or more residential units or commercial or industrial properties where the reinvestment or where the investment is at least $5,000. In Section 48 of the 1993 CRA legislation, the city set the exemption term for these uses at 5 years. The administration is requesting City Council consider increasing the exemption term to 10 years, as shown in the Section 1B of the ordinance. Does any member of council have questions for Mr. Rowan at this time? And we're good with the changes? Okay. Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Balestria,
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. This ordinance 2025-20 has been approved. So, hold on 1 second. We are going to move to motions, beginning with motion A.
Motion A, a motion to authorize the solicitation of bids for the pole demolition project.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Mano
Second.
and second by Mr. Minor. This motion will authorize the city to accept bids for the demolition of the city's old pool and buildings. Any questions or comments from council? Mr. Minor?
John is not here, but Mayor, just at one of the Public Works and Service meetings. No, actually, it was the Finance Committee meeting, strangely enough. Sean was asked about, when we go to demo the pool, is there any foundational work that we should also include in this contracting for preparation for whatever phase 2 is of our park? So that we wouldn't be paying for work twice. I just wanted to mention that just because it came up in the Finance Committee meeting, to keep that on the forefront of our minds as we move forward through the project.
Yeah, the work that's going to be done will not act as a foundation, but it won't hinder moving forward. So,
Other questions? You're good?
Nope.
Does anyone else have anything further? And will this work be done this summer or fall?
that is the intention.
Okay.
All depends what you guys do tonight. No pressure.
Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Balestria,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta,
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. Okay, so we could get going. All right. Motion B. Mr. Smithland. Oh, sorry.
Motion B, a motion to approve the final site plan for wall signage at Sequoia 5910 Lander Drive.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta
Second.
and second by Mr. Balestria. Again, this motion is to approve the signage in connection with the variance request for Sequoia in Resolution 2025-23. Any questions from council? All right, roll call on the motion to approve.
Mrs. Sabetta,
No.
Mr. Mano,
Yes.
Mr. Balestria,
Yes.
Ms. Tolbin,
Yes.
Mr. Minor,
Yes.
Mr. Medic,
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder.
Yes. This motion B has now been adopted. At this time, is there any new business or comments from council? Ms. Talbot?
I have one. I just want to say thank you to our law director, Mr. Schmidlin. I noticed a change around emergency legislation, and you now have a clarifying clause that kind of specifies the impact. So it's a new thing, and I appreciate it very much.
Well, thank you. I don't get very many compliments in my business, so thank you.
Well, we've had conversations about this in various ways. And so when I saw it, I thought this is great for public record because it actually adds a level of more detail, which I really appreciate.
We're working on it, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Sabetta
Second.
and second by Mr. Minor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone. We are now adjourned. Is that better?